Oh, what a week it has been. And even before I go live, I have been sat here for a good hour and 20 minutes going through everything that I think you need to know about the subject area that we're covering. Everything that I could simplify, that I could help you understand and make good use of. And that's essentially why I'm sat right in front of you, to give you information that you need, and as big as that you can use. Pointless me, I've said this before, it's pointless me getting a textbook out and spouting all this stuff off and you have not got a clue what I'm talking about, and it puts you off. And it puts you off to the point that you think, bugger that, I'm off to the pub. So cheers everybody. Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Done the fitness challenge earlier on. Please, it's a 15-minute time cap. Make sure your technique is on point before you add intensity. Girls, the team, tag everybody in, please. Good stuff. Right, before we get cracking, let me just have a wee looky. Okay, great. This is a detox for a reason. You have put your faith and trust in me to help you detoxify your body. So that means it's not a case of all the things you can't have, it's a case of everything that you can have. You have the most exquisite meal plan, backed up by science. It has taken me 20 odd years to get to this point, to actually package this up, run a team, the support, help you to achieve, but underpinned with the fundamentals of good nutrition, whole foods, to help you move towards optimal health. Whole foods. We don't work for Waitrose and Sainsbury's. We're not buyers. You keep hitting me with, so what about this product? What about that product? What about this product? Just eat the products that I'm asking you to eat. So what about this coconut oil? No, the coconut oil that I've asked you to get, the cold pressed organic, is fine. Stop looking for wee loopholes. Stop looking for other ways out. Stop looking for alternatives. Oh, what about an alternative to this? Do the basics. Sweat the small stuff. Get the small stuff absolutely right. Become obsessed with the small stuff. Become obsessed with the meal plan to the point that it's on point, it's everything I've asked you to do, and you're not looking for wee ways out, different ways. Challenge. Is it a big enough challenge without you looking for your own wee ways of doing things your way? Because your way has got you to where you were before you met me, and I don't think you were entirely happy, or else you wouldn't have found me, is the first point. We have a global problem of poor gut health, poor microbiome. I have copious amounts of notes here. We have leaky gut. We have SIBO, as we've talked about this week. We have stress. We have all the processed foods that you could just, you would, if you ate processed foods all of your life and you didn't listen to a thing Shelley Booth was saying, and you drunk alcohol and you did all the things that Shelley Booth's telling you not to do, then probably you're going to run into health problems for sure. Practically nailed on, isn't it? So the main reason for this week is to talk about how important your gut health is, and it is what you eat, absolutely what you eat. Unless you eat whole foods, good foods, meats and fish and vegetables and fruits and all that stuff. As hunter-gatherers, we don't do that job anymore, or those jobs. We sit behind computers. We've got constant stress. We've got constant interference, or an interface that we stimulate or get stimulus from, whether it's light, sound, speed, whatever. That's how we function now. We don't even need to move. So the stressors are much different now than they were years and years and years ago, but we're still the same physiologically. We're still supposed to be hunter-gatherers. We should go in search of our food. We should really enjoy that whole food. And instead, we're chucking it in the microwave, peeling back the plastic, popping the plastic on the thingy, tipping it onto the plate if we could be bothered. Sometimes we'll just eat it in the plastic, whether there's plastics in it or not. Hey, there will be though. Our bairns will sit and watch us. We'll get full, will have a blood sugar spike. It'll crash because the insulin, so your pancreas produces insulin in response to eating food, and in particular carbohydrates and sugars, refined carbohydrates, breads, pastas, cereals, cakes, waffles, biscuits, sweeties, that sort of thing. You've got a surge in insulin. Eventually you'll get insulin resistance because you eat these things all day long. So your body's like, nah, chaps. No, I'm not having that. You keep eating it though, because it's gluttonous, it's greedy, it's there for you. You know, it's so plentiful that you don't even need to worry about where it's coming from. So you get insulin resistance. The feedback signal back to the pancreas is broken. It's an endocrine disruptor, and you've got adipose tissue. You've got fatty cells there, and they're releasing fatty cytokines, and that's getting sent to your brain. So the whole thing is just is kaput. And it's kaput until you come on to Feel Look Be, and Shelley Booth goes through all this way, and you think, right, that sounds like me, those symptoms sound like me, I'm going to do something about this now. So you start to become really, really educated. And tonight is about blood pH or pH. Some people think that, you know, your body's got to be alkaline, and if it's too acid, you're going to die, and your body can't be acid. But actually, it has to be a mixture. You've got different fluids in your body, and some need to be more alkaline, and some need to be more acid. And that is the pH, and the set point is blood pH, which is between 7.35 and 7.45. You're thinking, what the hell does that mean? So I will show you what it means. So I have to do a wee thingy here. So this is the pH scale, if you like. 7 is neutral, and it goes all the way up to 14 from 1. Okay? So blood here is 7.35 to 7.45. And so between 7 and 8, 8 and 9, 9 and 10, those increments are by a power of 10. So if you went from 7.35 to 8.35, you'd probably be in some sort of coma. You know, it's massive. So it's within a very, very tight range as your blood. So let me show you. Really simply put, right? So let me see. You see that? That. Nah. Let me try another way. I'm going to get a wee chart here, because this is important. You need to understand this stuff. Give us a second. Just bear with us, will you? Is that any good? No. Tell you what, I'll share a chart with you later. But basically, 7 is neutral, 1 is acid, so between 7 and 1, so the bottom half. I'm annoying myself now because I want to show you. Yeah, right. So 7 is neutral. Here's 1. So this is acid at this point, and this is alkaline above it. I know it's really, really bad. This above 7 is alkaline. Now your stomach acid, let's start with the stomach. That acid is like battery acid. That's got to be acid because there's enzymes in your stomach, and to stimulate them, the pH has to be between 1 and 3. And if it's not between 1 and 3, you won't release the enzyme that's in your stomach called peptase, which essentially breaks down proteins. And if you can't break down proteins, you can't absorb the goodness from the food that you're eating. And then added to that, you've got leaky gut and SIBO and all these other things that we've spoken about this week, and B1 deficiency and all the rest of it. So you've got real problems without even knowing you've got problems. You just think you've got a wee bit of GERD or acid reflux, or you've got gastro issues. You don't really know why. You take antacids, sodium bicarbonate, you might take calcium, magnesium, and that is, it'll help in the short term, but when you eat, it flares up again. And there's a whole list of reasons for that. But because it's so massive, and because so many of you suffer with that, I wanted to cover it tonight. And it's all about gut health and how healthy or not your microbiome is. So, where will we start, Shelley Booth? So your stomach acid is between 1 and 3. Anything out with that range, you won't be able to, the enzymes won't be able to do their job. Now, remembering that the increment, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is a power of 10. So any slight change is a massive change for your body. And things that cause that change are, well, listen to this, sugar and stress are up there. So if you eat too much sugar and hidden sugars, breads, pastas, cereals, cakes, processed garbage, all that stuff, and you're stressed, here's what could happen. Here's a list of things. Sugar can make you too acid. Here's some of the things that could happen. And some of the reasons, actually. If you take metformin, that could make you too acid. Metformin pushes down blood sugar, so you've maybe got type 2 diabetes, or you've got a blood sugar problem. You may be taking metformin. That's one of the reasons that you might become too acid. Liver problems. So you've got maybe fatty liver. Maybe you are a very heavy drinker. You would be too acid with these. Type 1 diabetes could make you too acid. And if you are too acid, generally speaking, you'll feel pretty tired, and you'll definitely, more than most, or in most cases, have a B1 deficiency, which makes you feel like crap. So that's too acid. This is too alkaline, and stress causes alkalinity because cortisol. What's going on, Bonnie, honey? She's got acid reflux. Are you okay? Come here. Come here. So in that case, acid reflux, what would happen is, it's probably just a hair, but you would go and run for the antacids. But I'm telling you now, that's probably one of the worst things you could do. I'll tell you why soon. So cortisol causes a loss of acid and potassium, it depletes calcium and potassium. So you can get hand tremors, tetany, which is a twitching of the eye, or somewhere else in your body, but usually the eye, which could mean a calcium buildup as well, which means you can't absorb calcium, or you're not absorbing calcium. It's just sitting on the nerve, like I told you last night. In fact, I was lying in bed last night and I was watching my live, and I made a massive blunder. I was talking about vitamin D3, and I said I must have had just scurvy on the brain. I didn't mean scurvy. What did it actually mean? I mean, it meant to tell you today. I can't even remember. I was laughing at myself last night thinking, you're just on overdrive, Shelley Booth. Slow down. Numbness in the hands, feet or face. Confusion, lightheaded. That's symptoms of being too alkaline. But sometimes, here's the problem. Sometimes you could have a mixture of both. And if that's you, here's what I would suggest. You take apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar has acetic acid in it. And if your stomach is not acid enough, you might be getting GERD or acid reflux. But you think you're not acid enough, so you take these antacids, you think you're too acid, so you take these antacids. So that calms it down short term, but then you eat again and you've got this flare up again. So all your life really, you're popping these antacids. I would just encourage you, unless you've got a gastro problem, you've been diagnosed, or you've got an ulcer, don't take apple cider vinegar, because it could make it really sore and really uncomfortable. But if you take apple cider vinegar for a week, and I'm going to talk about the Activate supplement just shortly, if you take that for a week, you should see these symptoms go away completely. Hold on a second. So, what does apple cider vinegar do? These are research-backed claims. Apple cider vinegar helps lower postprandial insulin and glucose, which means after you've eaten, apple cider vinegar will help you lower blood sugar, which is amazing for when you're trying to fat burn, amazing for when you're trying to get rid of your belly, but it also helps reverse insulin resistance. So if you've got a belly and you do have insulin resistance, and you know you do because you crave carbs, you've got a belly, you get fatigued, you have regular slumps through the day because you're used to eating carbs and not giving you an instant high and then not, so you're off it and on it and off it and on it. Your endorphins kick in when you eat carbs, and your blood sugar level is erratic all day long. That's really insulin resistance. So apple cider vinegar will help reverse insulin resistance and help you fat burn. It improves fatty liver. These are research-backed claims, okay? It helps improve fatty liver, increases fat burning, and in particular stored fat. And that's probably because it will help reverse insulin resistance and get your blood sugar normalised again, so you can then tap into your own fat stores. Lowers blood pressure. That was a rat study, not a human study, but it did lower blood pressure. Important to bear in mind, we're not rats, but it's very difficult sometimes for human studies, and a lot of these studies that we do pull up are animal studies, but that's what we've got to go on at the moment, so human studies to follow. Increased satiety, so it'll help you feel full. You'll feel satiated, and then you have the meal plans, so you've got good fats, good proteins, and no crap. So you're going to feel fuller. Remember, fat has more than double the calories. Good fat. I'm not talking about bad fat here. So when you've got double the amount of calories, it's satiating, it's filling, and then you've got apple cider vinegar helping the whole thing, and so therefore you feel full. It gives reflux relief, and it helps acidify the stomach. It's actually great, apple cider vinegar from the bottle. If you make salad dressings with oil, apple cider vinegar, and you could use avocado oil and herbs and spices and stuff, you could make your own salad dressings. So please remember that. Some people think, well, how am I going to dress my salad? Make your own. So, good. Some of the symptoms of... Come here. Come here. Come. Anything I say, she does. Come here. I don't know what she's wanting. She's crying for something on the table. Some of the symptoms of low stomach acid. So it means you need to acidify your stomach. But instead you take an antacid. Listen. Yeah, no bother. So, gas, indigestion, burping, bloating, allergies, acid reflux. How many of you have had these or still do have them? Please tell me, just say yes or no. Let me see. There's a good 10-second lag on here, so I'm just waiting. Had them, yes. Look, so many people have got these problems, and it's because of the refined carbohydrates and sugars and all the crap that we eat and all the alcohol that we drink, and the lack of awareness, the lack of education. That's why. Predominantly, there will be stomach problems, so we can fix it this way. So anyway, where are we? So a B12 deficiency, that's worth looking into. If you have gastro problems, please research B12 deficiencies, it's very important. Increased candida and SIBO. Hypothyroidism can affect your low stomach acid, or can cause low stomach acid rather. A low salt diet. You need salt to produce hydrochloric acid to acidify. And if you're on a low salt diet or a low sodium diet, then you're going to struggle. Antibiotics, antacids, gastric bypass also affects blood stomach acid. And you've probably heard of H. pylori, which is a microbial infection that inhibits gastric acids as well. So there's a whole host of different things, and I'm sure there's some of them that applies to you. So all you need to know is this: sugar and stress will either inhibit enzymes in your stomach, and you will get GERD or acid reflux. You will just feel, even when you eat, or especially after you eat, you'll feel uncomfortable. You heard the other night, it's like a food baby. You feel it in your stomach and you're just not comfortable with it when you eat. And it could be clean foods that you're eating as well, because this takes a while to fix, remember. You don't just get rid of it. People think you do feel like beef for a month, and I'll fix my stomach acid. No, you have to go long game with this. I keep saying this to you. It's taken you years to get to this point, and it's not going to just take a month to undo. Okay, fine. Good. Enzymes, loads of enzymes here. Yeah, you're not wanting to know this, but just in case. So, pepsin in your stomach needs an acid or a pH level of between 1.5 and 1.6. If it doesn't have that, it cannot break down protein, so you're going to run into problems. Then you've got leaky gut, so you've got those undigested proteins sneaking through the little gaps, remember, the little bonds, and you've got allergies, or you've got an autoimmune condition. And then you add stress into that, and stress is a precursor for most of the time autoimmune. So you're totally all over the place. That has an impact on your mood, and you may have depression, you may have bipolar, you may have ADHD, and you just don't know why and how. It's your gut. That's why. Most of the time. ATP needs a pH of 9, so that's very alkaline. So when people say, you have to be one or the other, you actually don't. It's a complete mixture, because different fluids need different things. The lipase in the pancreas needs a pH of 8, whereas the lipase in the stomach needs a pH of between 4 and 5. So you're getting what I'm saying here? I hope so. These enzymes are activated by the optimal levels of pH. Without these optimal levels, and what impacts on them is what you eat, then your body can't really do its job. And you get all sorts of endocrine disruptors in amongst that. So you get pollution, you get alcohol and sugar, you get glyphosate, herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, and all the chemicals and the toxins and the heavy metals added into all that. So that's the reason why we have so much, or we hear so much of various different cancers, of all the health problems that we hear. Not enough, by the way. We don't hear about them enough. We've got fatty liver, we've got thyroid issues, and all the spin-offs. Fibromyalgia, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol's out of whack, and it's not the good cholesterol. And actually your cholesterol panel needs proper assessment, not the assessment, the general assessment and blood lipids that you get from the doctor, because they are so misleading. Most of that is just a calculation. It's an equation, it's a formula. It's not actually telling you anything. So, good. We're fine. I wanted to keep this short and sweet because I appreciate there's going to be 3 lives today by the time we get finished this. Kombucha tea is fine, yes. Apple cider vinegar, though, is an absolute must if you want to acidify the stomach. If you've got any of these problems, so chest pain, this could be an indication that you're too acid. Chest pain, palpitations because the electrolyte balance is out of whack. Headaches, anxiety, joint pain, bone pain, and like air hunger. Doing that. You already know why you're doing that. I've got a friend that does that. I've spoken to him about this as well. Too alkaline. Allergies, muscle cramps and twitches, difficulty breathing. So that might be a hyperventilating type thing. Spasms, weakness, calcium buildup, as I said before, and dehydration. If you are too acid, you might want to take calcium citrate, or look at that, calcium magnesium, calcium citrate. And also, if you're not acid enough and you need to acidify, apple cider vinegar, which is most people, which is why I've brought a supplement onto the market with various different types of other ingredients to create a blend, which I'll come to in a second. Is that straightforward enough? So my apple cider vinegar is a really great strength. So it's 2 capsules I'm suggesting per day, which is 1,000 milligrams. Most are like usually between sort of 250, but really great strength, good dose, and will seriously help you. I brought the capsule form because I'm not really buying into the gummies because of the additives in there, and also apple cider vinegar sometimes puts people off because of the taste of it. I've known that for a long time, and I know a lot of people don't have it because of the taste, which is why I've brought these. And apple cider vinegar as part of my regime, if you like. So it's really important. It's a great addition to my supplement range. So I don't want to miss anything. I think we're done there with that. So if any of these are you from this week, leaky gut, poor microbiome, SIBO, gut health, stress, too much sugar, too much alcohol, you've got a whole list of symptoms, maybe too acid, you've got a whole list of symptoms you find maybe feeling like you're too alkaline, this should give you a really good grasp of what you could do. And to be honest, any test that I would recommend would be the apple cider vinegar test. Try it. And if your symptoms are alleviated, you needed to acidify. And if not, you're probably too alkaline. Okay? One thing that I should have said to you was, if your stomach can't perform properly because the battery acid, that's what it's like. So your urine, your stomach, and your large intestine are really acid. And they're acid because they need to break down or help break down the food to absorb the minerals. So the intestine pulls the minerals from there after you've broken them down because the enzyme's doing its job. It can also kill microbes and viruses and bacteria. Without those tight ranges between 1 and 3, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to get a build-up of fungus and really shitty bacteria in there. And when the bacteria die, remember, their byproducts basically make you toxic. And also you can't digest protein, which again is another reason why you get so many allergies. And it all stems back to gut health. Am I making myself clear enough here? Your gut and your brain, they're like 2 brains and they constantly speak to each other. When you're stressed, that's the autonomic nervous system, and you've got a little valve in your stomach which connects to the brain, so your brain knows that you're stressed, obviously. It sends a signal to the gut and you might start coughing. Is that you? See, when you get stressed, do you cough? Do you get acid reflux when you get stressed? That's the reason why. I know so many people when they're stressed, they've got this constant cough. And that explains it. So, there we go, people. Now, here we are. This incredible product. We have in here apple cider vinegar with the mother, which is very, very important. Ginger root and MCTs. So we've got a blend. I didn't just want to give you apple cider vinegar, I wanted to give you other benefits as well. And I've spoken about most of them, but some of them are obviously the MCTs. We've been through this. So help with weight loss. This is a great weight loss product actually. It helps you with weight loss. But you have to stick to them. You have to stick to the plan. And here I've worded this. Food supplement with apple cider vinegar, ginger root and MCTs, 100% active, 100% clean, 0 fillers or additives. This is very, very important. Do you understand? Clean products. Formulations exclusively developed using advanced forms of nutrients and botanicals to complement the Feel Look Be programme. It's done in conjunction with eating good foods, whole foods. It's done in conjunction with the meal plan. Not your meal plan, but mine. And mine becomes yours, it becomes ours. So, going to list these, okay? Improves digestion, supports healthy gut bacteria, stabilises blood sugar levels, fat burning. Fat burning! So we're burning down your glucose tank, your glycogen tank. Your glycogen basically is stored glucose in the muscles and the liver. We're burning that down because you're not constantly eating all the crap of the day. You're eating good quality foods that your body uses, storing any. So once you're burning glucose, glycogen, you start tapping into your own body fat. And when you use your own body fat, it's a really clean source of fuel, produces ketones as well, great for the brain, great for the heart, great for everything really. Your brain fog will go, you'll think much better, you'll be much more alert, you'll be able to perform, you'll probably be better in the gym, you'll be better in the workouts. Everything will ramp up the way, not down the way. You won't down-regulate, you'll up-regulate. Appetite suppressing, supports healthy weight management. So you can see a theme here. Weight. If you've got weight to lose, great product in combination with all of the supplements because they all complement each other. That's what they were designed to do. Anti-inflammatory properties and promotes healthy gut biome. And healthy gut bacteria. MCT has been through this. Promote weight loss and energy, aids digestion, converts to ketones, improves cognition, fights yeast and bacterial growth, and improves and increases HDL, the good cholesterol. HDL and LDL, very, very different. We'll cover that as we get through Feel Look B, near the end of Feel Look B. Okay, just bear that in mind. Okay. Ginger is a great digestive aid, and it's ginger root. The roots are amazing. Anti-inflammatory, hugely high in antioxidants and the upper digestive tract. It acts like a calmer, so it lets your upper digestive tract calm and relax. So it's everything, peristalsis, the movement of fluids and foods could be much easier rather than this contraction. Adding to that is you're going to work on your stress. So the whole thing really should assist optimal health because you're minimising stress. And if you are stressed, you're aware of it, you're going to extract it from your body. Stress accumulates in the body. If you had a bereavement 10 years ago, you could still be carrying that. You've got belly fat as a result. Loss, emotional stuff. That's the worst kind of stresses a lot of the time, isn't it? Causes all sorts of problems in your gut, but it stays in your body. And unless you move, unless you do the daily mindset work, and in fact, we're doing all the mindset work again next week. This week's been all education. Next week, we're back to the mindset stuff. A fantastic product, and so many of you have got it already. Everything goes back on sale again on Thursday night because you've had all of the education that you need. Tomorrow night at 7:30, Kate will come on. Kate is a clinician and she tests for absolutely everything practically and will help you get baselines. But she's going to use me as a guinea pig in February and she's coming on tomorrow night to talk about it. Vitamin D tests, SIBO tests, antibacterial tests, loads of different testing. So that'll be hugely useful for you. She's got a clinic in London and she's a great girl too. So is that okay? Was that helpful? Not as busy tonight. 74 of you on. You could take all 4 supplements together. So if I was you, I would split them up. Apple cider vinegar, usually take that with food or maybe food on your belly, right? Especially the acetic acid, if you're not used to it, you might feel it a bit dodgy in your belly. And it's got MCTs as well, which help the passage of spit it out, Shirley, for Christ's sake. Which help move things along. So if you're constipated, MCTs will help. But that could make your stomach feel funny as well. So make sure you've got food. So if you're doing one a day, take 2 in the morning, be 2 in the afternoon. There's your 4 supplements. Easy. If you want to take them all at the same time, if you're not used to them, it could affect you. Of course it could, like anything. So go slow and split them up. Or even do one morning, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon and evening. Where it says, read the labels, where it says have with food, obviously have with food. Good. Do you know what's really great about this is your health is so important, but you're getting yourself to a position where you are becoming so knowledgeable so knowledgeable about various different subjects that you can actually help your family and you could steer them in different ways. And what I've been talking about with you're the role model for your children, it's absolutely true. And it's one thing trying to get your kids to eat things like, God, Leo's really difficult. But he knows what I eat and he knows why I eat it. And sometimes that's half the battle, and they'll slowly change themselves, they will. But if they see you doing all the wrong stuff, where do they go from there? It's pretty impossible for them, isn't it? It's okay. See you later. Bye bye.